everybody. Welcome back to our part two of today's show. We're the Talking Hats. I'm Harish, that's Dale, and below is David. We just got some breaking news that David just said, so I'm going to pass it on to David so he can tell what that is, and if anybody's in the betting line and things that can actually alter your bets. So David, please take that from here.
Yeah, I just got a notification on my phone saying Robert Woods is now out for the year. So that may impact a lot of fantasy teams out there as well. Maybe the Rams knew about this. That's why they signed Odell Beckham recently. So yeah, that's huge news.
Breaking, as you know, as we're recording, is breaking news. So if you're gonna pick it up today, you'll get this breaking news. Joining in with us.
Yes, and also please like our channel. Please comment, please say what you guys think. If you guys want more of these bet lines with David coming on and sharing his views and sharing his analytics.
Yeah, if David's willing, we'll make it a segment.
Yeah, we'll make it a segment. We'll have a huge segment for him. And if you guys like it, please like, subscribe, and please tell us what you guys feel, how our channel has progressed in the last couple of days. Any comment, any constructive criticism is welcome.
Hey, I'll take hate too. As long as you're listening, I don't care if you're a hater. Just give me them clicks. But you know, David is our first subscriber. I was thinking about, you know, the NHL has its original 6. I was thinking about maybe doing something for our original 10 subscribers. If you jump in on it, subscribe, hit like every time. Maybe I can get some T-shirts or hats made. We're the Talking Hats. Maybe we'll get some hats made for our first 10.
Yeah.
So please jump in, tell your friends, and we'll pick it up from here. Harish, you can go ahead and steer the ship.
So with Robert Woods out for the year, and with that comment of, you know, they knew about it, and that's why they went after Djax hard too.
That's speculation. We're just guessing. We're guessing.
We're guessing. We're just guessing. But I mean, the team has to have known the injury situation, regardless of the speculating or whatever that may be.
Right.
So with Deshaun Jackson on the team now, and with Matthew Stafford, do you feel that the lines will change with his signing, with the Rams signing, with the Rams being favored in most of these games now? And do you feel that that's going to tend towards the money line or the point differential?
Well, okay, they signed Odell Beckham.
Sorry, not Djax.
Yeah. I think Djax was waived.
He's in the Raiders now. Yeah,
he's with the Raiders.
He's the Raiders.
He's in Vegas. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll take some time to get Odell acclimated to the system, because Robert Woods, even though Cooper Kupp has been the main focal point. Cooper, a lot of people have been calling him Cooper Cup of Coffee. But yeah, he's been having a monster year. But I mean, I've seen Odell play this year. If he's not injured, I think he could still bring a lot to the table. There has been plays in Cleveland where I know Odell's dad posted a video showing how many times Baker just missed him. I don't think
that video is out of context. That video is out of context.
I know, but he definitely didn't go about it the right way. But I mean, part of it is true. Like, Baker hasn't looked good. He's missed him. He missed him a couple of times this year. I don't think Odell is washed. I think he could still play. He still looks athletic. But I mean, will he be as effective as Robert Woods was? But he's as a number 2 option. You know?
No.
Yeah.
The reason because Robert Woods is so versatile, they line him up at running back sometimes. He really he had a big role in that team, and they're definitely going to miss him. Odell can't fill those shoes, and I don't think he's still a top 2 receiver. However, if he comes in and accepts the role behind Cooper Kupp, and they've got Jefferson too, he's really coming into his own this year. If he comes in and is okay with not getting the ball every time, if he plays his role, he'll definitely have an impact on that offense. But what's missing is a quarterback.
I mean, whatever he does, what is that?
What's missing is a quarterback.
Oh, you don't like Stafford?
Never been a Stafford guy. You know this. I don't buy him because he never did anything in Detroit. It's a bad organization, but it was his team, and he never won a playoff game in all those years. So that tells me I don't need to know about him.
And he had Megatron, but I mean, he's still an upgrade over Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford never won a playoff game. So I believe it when I see it. I'm not going to say it until I see it.
Goff went to a Super Bowl with Sean
Super Bowl.
McVay. With Sean
Yeah,
McVay. He
Yeah,
looks so much better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff looks awful. Like there was a game I bet Detroit this year. Maybe that's why my bias is even worse. But like I think it was versus did they play Pittsburgh? It was like I don't know. It was a game.
Gosh.
It was one of the primetime games.
Uh,
But he solely caused 2 turnovers, and he either like fumbled the ball
I think it was that game. Yeah.
from a snap, and then there was a 4th down play where like his check down guy was wide open, but he goes to his first read who's
I
double
remember that.
covered. Yeah, and I'm just like Goff is just, I don't think Goff has it. So I think Stafford's an upgrade.
He might not, but he's also in the same situation Stafford was in last year. So
Yeah.
I mean, Detroit is just one of those places. Maybe we'll see on his next stop whether he has it or not. I'm not going to write him off there in Detroit because nobody's going to succeed there. They're not taking football seriously. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a Goff fan. I personally think he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Worse than Wentz?
Wentz wins games.
Carson Wentz is duty.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz looks good against bad teams. Jared Goff doesn't look good ever.
Again, that's fair. I can't argue that.
Wentz beats bad teams. Like, did you see that Jets game? They scored on like every drive in the first half or like the first whatever possession.
Yeah, I was watching that game.
He looked like a competent quarterback against bad
They're lucky
defenses.
my guy got hurt. They're lucky Mike White got hurt. That would have been a different game.
Yeah.
But he's in a scheme, Carson Wentz, now where it's going to hide him because that running game is legit. So it's going to hide.
I think Jonathan Taylor is one of the top 5 backs in the league right now.
Yeah, no question. But the scheme too, it's a great scheme. Frank Reich's running. I don't know if they're full zone blocking scheme, but it looks it's the majority of that, and that hides the quarterback's flaws. But then once Wentz is put in a situation where he has to make a play, Wentz comes, he Carson Wentz's again, and it's a disaster. So,
yeah,
I'm not buying him.
That interception versus the Titans game was one of the worst I've seen. But
good grief.
I mean, he does have Michael Pittman though. He could just throw it up and then have Pittman go get it. You know, Pittman is taller than any cornerback he's up against. So,
yeah, true. He is his father's son. Eddie played with Michael Pittman here in Denver. That dude he's a brick house.
Yeah,
he's jacked. So his son got those genes and he's balling. His son is a baller.
Yeah, he looks good. Looks good. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Odell, we'll see how he adjusts to the new team. Yeah, he has to let his ego go though. That's one of the things that anytime you sign like a former superstar, they still have that ego a lot of times. And if he's willing to
put that aside,
adapt his game to what the team needs, I think he can succeed.
You think he'll put it aside to win the ring? Because
I think so.
Win a ring. Stafford is still a quarterback. There's not going to be any rings in LA this year.
Hey, Rams
injury.
still beat Tampa Bay. I mean, they beat Tampa Bay. They could beat Tampa Bay. They line up
regular season. They beat them last year in the regular season.
I picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
They play each other in the playoffs last year?
Regular season.
I don't think they.
I know, but I mean, there are teams that know how to scheme against Tom Brady better than other teams. Like, look at New Orleans. Like, they're 3-0 against Tom Brady in that team.
Yeah.
You know, like there's teams that are just better matched, better suited versus certain teams. So
certain teams, right? And then
the way that's the main reson they picked up Von Miller too, because when you pressure Brady, he's not the same. So
right.
And Von Miller showed
the key against great quarterbacks is to get pressure on them without blitzing. That's the main key. Because great quarterbacks will tear you apart if you blitz because they know who has man coverage and they know where to go. So the key is to get pressure on these quarterbacks without blitzing. That's why they're trying to get all the edge rushers and
Makes sense.
Here's a quirky stat. In RG3's 2012 season, the greatest season in his career by far, when you see your what you said about against the blitz, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league against the blitz. So that shows you like an average quarterback like him can pick apart a blitz. Like you blitz Brady, it's over. So that's why you got to bring in a guy like Von Miller who can. And Von Miller has shown in the playoffs against Brady that he'll bring it, and so he'll get motivated and get up for those games if he can stay healthy. And that's a big if these past few seasons.
Yeah, and this year alone, if you look at the stats, there's surprising quarterbacks that are really good against the blitz, like Derek Carr. You know, I always made fun of Derek Carr, but he's one of the best quarterbacks according to stats against the blitz.
You know,
So-
I'm a
Me-
Derek Carr fan. I
me
love
too.
Derek Carr. So.
To me, he's a top 5 QB in the league. I believe in him.
Derek Carr,
I
Yeah,
agree.
I
Yeah,
love
agree.
Derek
Carr.
Carr,
I love
top
him.
5 in the league,
Yeah,
Yeah.
top 5,
I will
Yes.
stand behind it. I'll stand behind that.
Yes.
I
me
love
top
too.
5.
I'll
Okay.
take him.
Let's name your top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Mike
So
White.
I'm gonna say 5 is Derek Carr. So let's name your top 4.
All
Top
right.
5 Derek Carr. Okay.
Yes.
Who's your top
Yes.
4?
I'll go, man. When it comes
Brady?
down to it, Brady, no
Brady.
question,
Brady.
is number
Okay.
1.
1.
So Brady is like
Wilson.
I can't even put him number 1. Like he doesn't belong in the list with other quarterbacks. It's Brady, and
Yeah.
then I'm going after that because you don't even have to mention him.
Okay.
After that, I'm
Number
going
2?
Russell Wilson.
Number 2. Dangerous. Okay.
Yeah. Number 3 would be Aaron Rodgers if it weren't for his mental health issues. So I got to knock him out of that spot.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I can't give it to him now because he's tripping. So I can't until he
Yeah,
gets
but
back
he's-
on.
I mean, skill-wise, he's still number 3
Until he comes back to earth, I can't give it to him.
this season. You would rather have Derek Carr play over Aaron Rodgers on your team
No.
for one
I
game,
wouldn't.
in a playoff game?
Oh, in the playoff game?
Yeah, in a playoff game.
See,
Top 5 right now.
Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl, so I'm not gonna stand on his playoff record and hold
How
him up in
many
some high regard.
playoff game wins does Derek Carr have?
0, right?
More than me.
We're comparing quarterbacks. All right. Top 5. All right. Number 3. Who's your
Fine,
number
I'm
3?
fine. Aaron Rodgers, fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Or who's your number 4?
Let's see.
Has
Mike
to
White.
be Dak, right? Come on.
No, I'm kidding.
Mike
Dak,
White.
Dak. I'm glad you said that because it was slipping my mind. But Dak,
Yeah.
Dak,
Who?
yeah, Dak.
Dak.
Not last week's stack, but
No,
Dak.
No,
Okay.
just
healthy,
like
healthy Dak. Healthy
healthy
Dak.
Okay,
Dak.
so you're
Healthy
saying
Dak.
so right now you would take Derek Carr over Josh Allen?
Did I say Mahomes?
No, you didn't say Mahomes.
No.
All right, I got to put Mahomes over Dak. And then
That's
I'll
5
put,
already.
I'll put Dak under
Oh,
Derek
4.
Carr then.
Okay.
I'll put Dak under Derek
Dak
Carr then.
under Derek
Oh,
Carr.
sorry.
I feel okay about that too.
Who?
So,
Dak under Derek Carr. I feel all right about that too.
okay,
What about
so-
Josh Allen?
Or
He hasn't done anything yet. He'll get
So
there.
you take Derek Carr
He'll
over
get there.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I would.
You
Yeah.
take
Even-
Derek Carr over Kyler Murray.
yeah.
See, and this is why I was going to have Chris on too.
Yeah,
He said,
no.
"I'll come on in
No.
10 minutes." Chris is the Kyler Murray guy to the core. I'm slowly starting to buy in because they're 8-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've never. Maybe it's the height
This
thing.
year.
I'm short
talking
too.
about this year.
Yeah. Top.
Derek Carr over
top 7.
Kyler Murray.
I would. Yeah, I would.
Oh man.
Just me. That's me.
I mean,
Okay.
even Herbert, even Justin Herbert,
I love him, but he's not up there yet. He will
he's
be.
not up there.
He will be a
okay.
top 3 QB in the league. But not yet.
Okay,
Because,
Lamar
see,
Jackson.
No,
I'm
I don't
not
think.
a
yeah.
Lamar Jackson guy.
You're,
Yeah.
okay,
And
you're still
this
taking
week's
Derek
game
Carr.
showed me. Oh yeah, no
Yeah,
question.
of course.
No
of course.
question.
Why wouldn't you?
All right, so what we're basing this on? You said you need to win 1 game.
Mhm.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
take Lamar if I need to win 1 game.
Did you
No way.
did you see the Raiders and Giants game? Derek Carr looked awful.
It was a rough week, man. It was a rough week.
Yeah, dude. Like
It was a
teammate
rough
went
week
out-
for the quarterback, but I'm saying
two,
like
two
top
teammates
5,
went out like in a matter of weeks.
Yeah,
top 5. We're talking about Giants.
it was a rough spot. It was a rough week. I know that
Yeah.
was a bad game. They'll get back on track this week. Or are they on a bye? Are they playing this week? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't
I don't
think so.
remember.
I don't think so.
Who?
But
The Raiders, are
The
they on a bye
Raiders?
this? Or are they playing?
No,
I
they're
forget.
playing. They're playing Kansas City. They're playing
Oh.
your
Oh.
boy.
And he's gonna
Mahomes.
come out. He's gonna come out and beat them too. So
Yeah,
yes,
they're gonna beat them because,
Yeah.
like I said,
no
Kansas
defense.
City's offense is broken. Like
Yeah.
that's true.
their offense
They're-
looks really broken this year. Even when they covered versus like Washington, that first half, they were throwing interceptions. They throw interceptions off people's helmets. It's like things you see in a video game. And you're like, how are they doing this? It's like
So, Chris,
Mahomes, I don't know. You know what the problem is? Like teams are this is teams are adjusting, right? Even against Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're doing the same tactic they're doing against Kansas City. They're just taking away the big plays, right? Taking away Tyreek Hill, and they want you to like throw those short passes and go the length of the field. And I don't think Mahomes likes doing that. He wants to make those highlight plays. So a lot of times he like forces the ball, and it's and you see the outcome. Yeah. So I mean, if they just get back to the basics, they should win the game. But I actually like Oakland this year. I like the teams in the divisions against Kansas City because they know how to play against them. So
yeah, I also don't think Mahomes is fully healthy yet either. That's just what I think. I could be wrong, but
yeah. And
it's also a mental thing too. I think when like they get into that kind of groove and they kind of feel that, oh, I have to force the ball in, or I have to make these kind of plays. And with his brother on the sideline doing some crazy nonsense,
yeah,
that kind of
that's true. It could be a mental thing. Maybe he's like halfway thinking about being a TikTok star, or not being a quarterback.
So David, so with the top 5, who would be your top 5 quarterbacks in the league?
In the league right now?
Right. If you had to put money on any of them, right? Who would you be?
I mean, I would definitely take Brady, Rodgers, Kyler, Josh Allen, and then 5 is
Derek Carr.
Like either Russell Wilson or Dak.
You're leaving somebody out because this guy. You're a big time backer. This guy who you're leaving out. You love him. I don't like him. I never have. Baker.
Who?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, I don't like him.
You used to love him. You used to love him.
I know. I liked him in college. First year he looked promising, and then, but he's looked awful this year. Like that game versus the Cardinals this year, he was just making stupid decision after stupid decision, and like the touchdown he got was a Hail Mary. So I was like,
so do you feel like, because I feel that they may move on from Baker. So I feel that they may move on from Baker Mayfield if they don't start winning. Like if they don't make it to the playoffs and win like at least a playoff game, they may move on from him. Like maybe whenever his contract.
Yeah. I mean, at least he has a commercial career that he could lean on.
Yeah, I know.
Fall back on.
Yeah, he can knock on the door of the Cleveland Browns thing. They ain't gonna open it. But the thing is, Cleveland, right? They have a stacked defense. Their defense is really like I like their defense.
They are stacked, yeah.
If they can get let's say Baker goes from the Cleveland Browns, let's say they trade him or they cut him or something of the other to make a deal. I don't know, cut him.
Is he had a contract here?
If he was, he shouldn't be playing like this.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, let's say if he is, right? Let's say if he is in a contract year, and if he doesn't perform, who is going to step into that role? Like they would have to get into the draft because this year's draft for quarterback is not good.
It's a little lean this year.
Yeah, I mean, because the Washington guys are looking at the guy from Pittsburgh, and that's probably one of the best. I would say not even the best, but.
Yeah, is Russell Wilson leaving Seattle after this year?
Can't be.
I know he was trying to force a trade before this season.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little torn. I mean, I feel like if they make the playoffs, he'll be happy and stay. To me, it's the perfect situation for him. So I don't know why he leave unless Ciara wants him to get to New York or something.
Oh, he's still with Ciara?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, they're making TikTok videos together. I think. Yep. She's on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's probably why his productivity.
I mean, if he becomes a free agent, he'll be the number 1 free agent on the market for sure.
Oh well, I mean, his stats speak for himself. Why wouldn't you want a guy like Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
But
he's just a winner. Always has been.
Yeah, but I think he also leveraged what he wanted to do, like during that trade thing, to get what he wanted. Just like what Aaron Rodgers was trying to do in a way when he was like, "I'm not coming back." So
Aaron Rodgers got what he wanted because this is his last year of his deal. He's out. No question.
He's definitely
this year. He's out.
I think he's definitely
100%. That was the deal he made. He would only come back if this was it. So this is
maybe he can be the host of Jeopardy.
He's not on planet Earth, so I frankly don't care what he does. He can go.
I don't think he's gonna retire.
No, he might end up here. he might end up here in Denver, and that's why
Yeah,
they've got
actually,
two bridge
yeah.
guys.
Oh
So
yeah,
do
that's
you thi-
right. That's right.
So if let's say after this year, if Russell does choose to leave, which team will be the forefront for him to go and sign? Or which team would he prefer to go to? Would he
New
prefer to
York,
go
New
I
to?
don't
York,
know.
one of the New York teams because of his wife.
Hmm.
And New York,
I'm not-
both teams may have a spot. I mean, any team, if Russell Wilson's a free agent, every team has a spot open. So, I don't care if Mike F. White is balling or,
Yeah, I mean,
Daniel
you'd be
Jones is out. So
I mean,
he
you
might
would
end up on the
have to be
Giants.
like yeah. I think because me personally, I think if he did leave, he probably will go to New York, as you say, if he has family up there, and he probably wants to win. But I think he
No,
wants to
it's
go to a
not.
winning team.
It's not the
You don't
family
think-
thing. I think his wife wants to be in that big media market. So that's why I could see him going there
Hmm.
just because of that. Like he's not going to end up on like, Buffalo or like one of these
yeah.
outcast type markets.
Ask-
He's going to be in a big media market, and it's because of those opportunities.
Washington, no.
I mean, Washington needs a
We
quarterback.
can dream. We can dream.
Hey, I never thought we got Donovan McNabb back in the day, but then we got the other version of Donovan McNabb, not the right version.
Speaking
We
of
got the one that
Washington,
we got the broken McNabb that would only throw at wide receiver speed.
Yeah, and in the back of their jerseys when they're not looking. What were you saying, sir? Dale?
speaking of Washington, that can lead us right into a quarterback they should have looked into, who went back home in Cam Newton. Maybe let me pick your brain on that. So what I feel about that is I think that's the move they needed to make to be a playoff team this year. I think he's going to get them there. He's not washed like everybody thought. He's healthy now. He hasn't played, so I think he's going to step right in and they'll pick up and make the playoffs. What are you thinking?
I mean, they have all the pieces, right? They have all the tools. As
Is
long as
McCaffrey healthy?
McCaffrey stays
Is he healthy?
Yeah, he
He
came
is?
back last. He played
Wow.
last week.
Wow.
As long as he stays healthy, their defense looks solid. They still have, and DJ Moore is always a threat on the outside.
Yeah. And
Sam
with Cam, he
Darnold was a
bowled.
problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Darnold was a problem. So as long as Cam could be a competent quarterback, they should be a playoff team.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Harish?
But no matter how he looks, he has to be an upgrade over Darnold. Darnold.
Darnold. I mean, I love Cam. I mean, even though I think he just got, as we talked about in the last episode.
Let me say, we're breaking and say what's up. Breaking and say what's
Yeah.
up to Chris. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good deal. So we're breaking down Cam right now, going back home. That's what we're on at the moment. So we're just going a round table on that. After Harish gets into his thoughts about it, we'll jump to you and see how you feel about that.
Okay.
So I just feel that it's good for him to go back home, because at the end of the day, he needs to be in a system that can kind of sort his talents out. And with his productivity, I mean, he was a former MVP, as we stated, and I believe that with his capabilities, the Carolina Panthers can make the playoffs. They can make the playoffs with that.
Yeah, I agree. Chris, what do you think about that? What do you think about Cam going back home?
I think Cam is, he's big time in Carolina. Everybody gotten him to a Super Bowl. That 15-1 season, you couldn't find a better quarterback than Cam Newton. Man, I'm talking about Brady was in his prime. Drew Brees is the Peyton Mannings, everybody. And Cam Newton, was able to reach the top level with an MVP. So I don't know how this season would be, finishing it out. But in terms of just energizing that city all over again, I'm all for it. Yeah.
So what I feel like this team is strong enough, and they just had that one missing piece at quarterback. I think this team this year can still make a playoff run, especially with the extra spot. What do you think about that? And just so y'all know, Chris is the QB whisperer. He played quarterback in high school, a little bit in college too. So when it comes to breaking down QBs, I don't trust anybody's word over Chris's. So what do you think about their chances this year?
Yeah, Carolina is ready to win. They got Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, he's battled a few injuries here and there, but I don't know. Their wide receiver core, they're pretty average, but they can get the job done when needed. They got a solid defense. Matt Rule is, I'll tell you what he said about bringing Cam back, that kind of won me over right there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
not trying to win in 2 years. He's not going to do that to the fans, and he's trying to bring them in. This move really came out of nowhere for me. If anybody was going to bring him in, I thought it would probably be the Washington football team with Ron Rivera. And, for him to go back to Carolina is really big time. I think they can make a run. Even just getting to the playoffs at this point would be a win and a step in the right direction. And it would do some things and shake things up for Sam Darnold's future.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, as we talked about, go ahead.
They went ahead and put him on the IR, so he probably won't be back in a Panthers uniform this year, maybe ever. I don't know what his contract is looking like, but that could be it for him. So a quarterback we were debating, and you've been a Baker Mayfield guy. You've been a Kyler guy from the start. Like, you were talking about Kyler before anybody. Before he was projected as the number one pick, you were on him. I never really bought in until this year, really. David's been riding high on him. I want to know how you feel in terms of where he ranks as far as NFL QBs in the league right now. Where would you put him?
Kyler right now is obviously, I think he's a top 5 quarterback right now. I think
Who is your top 5? We were debating that too. Who would be your top 5?
Wait. Chris.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Shut up.
Is Derek Carr a top 5 quarterback in the league right now?
Shut up.
No, Derek Carr.
I just want to know, since he's the quarterback whisperer.
It's not in my top.
Okay.
Weekend at the bottom, but as of right off the top of my head, no.
Okay. I already like your list, Chris. I already like your list. All right.
I'm gonna keep it kid friendly, but there could be an extra finger here coming up because you're gonna call me out like that.
I just wanted to pick his brain. That's all.
All right.
No, but in terms of who we talking about here?
Kyler.
Kyler
Oh,
Murray.
Kyler, so he's top 5. I would even go as much as to say top 3 as far as his future projections are, but I think by the next 2 years, he'll be the best quarterback in football. He'll be the best quarterback in football.
This is assuming Brady retires.
Well, he's the type of guy, if you watched him when he came into the league, he has some big games where he may not have won the game, but from day one, he's battled the Aaron Rodgers even when Garoppolo was doing this thing with the 49ers a couple of years back, Kyler came right in there and went toe-to-toe with the best defense in the league. And them, you're talking about the Saints, anybody they played, Kyler went toe-to-toe. And you could see why he was the best quarterback in the state of Texas growing up and all these types of things. And people just initially couldn't get over his height. But in terms of leadership traits and overall skill set, he's the best quarterback in football in the next 2 years.
Harish, where did you have Kyler ranked? What were you thinking about him?
I didn't even put him on my list, actually. I mean, maybe top 10, but
I'm talking just for right now, not potential. Like right now, this season.
For this season,
they're 8-1, so
top 2, at least top 2. After Brady, I would have put him because at the end of the day, like when you actually look at the way he plays, as Chris stated, there's no other quarterback that can match him. I mean, his touchdown to interception ratio is it's on par with what they projected him to be before the season. And at the end of the day, like what people underestimate about him is his arm strength. He can throw that ball down the field like anybody, and he can use his legs too. But he doesn't use his legs as much as people think he does. When he needs to go, he runs, and then he gets it. So I mean, and that's why, like, when people say, "Oh, Lamar Jackson," I'm like, well, you can't really compare the two together because Lamar, in my opinion, I think that system is made for him to run before pass. And teams now, if you look at in the last couple of games, they're blitzing more for him to keep it inside the pocket. He can't go anywhere else. And that zone read he does, they know whenever he tries to do it, they're going to key up on him regardless. Even if you hit him a couple of times, he's not going to take that outside anymore.
Where do you have Lamar Jackson? Since Harish mentioned him, where do you have him?
Lamar Jackson, he's in my top 10, probably near the bottom. But winning that playoff game last year did some big things in my mind.
Yeah.
For that, I was comparing him to James Harden. He's the guy
It's
And in the
somehow
playoff,
opposite that.
it put him in my top 10. But he's got a long this is not on my level in terms of the guys I think about. Go ahead.
So Chris, so what do you think needs to happen for Lamar Jackson to make that next step? Because everybody in the league now are talking about, hey, like Lamar Jackson, and some people and some ESPN commentators are saying that now he's out of the MVP talk. I never considered him to be the MVP talk. I mean, me personally, I would have thought they would have had Jalen Murray from the Cardinals, at least him, but they're not even talking about him, but they're talking more about Lamar. So in your opinion, where do you see both of those quarterbacks and where do you see the fundamentals that they both can improve on?
Well, in terms of Lamar Jackson, I think that what got people, it was probably about his second year in the league. People were almost afraid to say bad things about him after what he had to go through coming out of college and going through the scrutiny and trying to, have to tight end or wide receiver or whatever. People got the point after he had some early success and I don't know if this has something to do with him being a black quarterback and all the scrutiny that comes in. A little bit afraid to say things negative about Lamar Jackson. And also when it comes to those natural stereotypes of how, good or bad of a passer he is. Me, on the other hand, if anybody knows, the way I talk, I just call it how I see it. Lamar Jackson is 4 years old. He's been in the league a few years now, and he's already had some early success. Kind of like the success that Cam Newton has, he's won an MVP. Some things here. He's energized the city. He's kept them in talks to make playoff every year. So he's had that early success. He's still young, and he's a leader. He's good off the field, no issues there. So he has a chance to, in the next, 2 to 3 years, to make a big jump. If his one thing that I worry about is that all of the attention, all of the commercials, he's on this, he's on that, and people want him to say who he is. I don't know if there's motivation there to do much changing. And you kind of in that back to the way I feel about a guy like Deshaun Watson when he was doing his thing, that he was on kind of commercials, all run first, think about the rest later, or just dance around a lot in the pocket to make yourself look like, and so there's not motivation there to get rid of the football. There's not enough.
Yeah. I'm glad you, real quick,
Yeah.
Harish, I'm glad you brought up Deshaun Watson. And David is a Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz guy. And I think they're the same player. I think they're the same quarterback. Like you said, dancing around in the pocket. Receivers running a great route and the ball ain't there because you back there dancing around trying to look for a guy who's wide open. You throw the ball before you see it. So you throw it open. And that's what Deshaun Watson was never that. Carson Wentz was never that. Big Ben early in his career was that same type of quarterback, but he had the success. So you can't really criticize that success. But, would you compare a Deshaun Watson to like a Carson Wentz? Because like you said, those same traits.
And that's the thing. Everything changed for me in terms of evaluating quarterbacks. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I've coached a quarterback in the past that I just went over and talked to him. I said, why do you always throw the ball late? And he throws the ball late, and he throws it harder than anybody can ever throw a football. And it's because he wants to show off. He wants to show off his arm. And that's not the most selfish thing you could. As a quarterback, you're a point guard, and your job is to facilitate. Yeah. You can't mentality, and you can't make it about you. And that's the one thing Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and definitely Carson Wentz, as far as potential, if they don't grow up in the sense of I'm a leader, I'm a facilitator versus it's not all about me.
So let's say like if you were a scout, like since you've done it in the past, let's say right now an NFL team came up to you and say, hey, Chris, we want to know what your methodology is to picking a quarterback for our team. What would that be? Like, how would you go through step by step to say, because now if you look at it, they have all these metrics and how all these people kind of pan out to.
So like most important 3 traits.
Yeah, the top 3 traits for you to say, okay, if I want to lead a quarterback if I had to draft a quarterback, what would be my top 3 kind of analytics I would look at, or you would look at?
Sure. First and foremost, you have to be a leader by nature in terms of a selfless type of person. See, it's kind of like judging an alpha male versus somebody else. And then you walk into a room, the alpha male in the room is not always the guy that's the loudest in the room. He's the guy who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can read the room and you can understand what's needed in the room, and
Yeah.
you bring the room. And you want a guy who has that figured out naturally. And he can be your quarterback because he knows when to facilitate, when to be and make it about him. It's kind of like when Michael Jordan took that next step. He came into the league just scoring a bunch of points, and then he took that next step and became a part of a triangle offense, and then he was the best player in a triangle offense. And you take that next step, that's the type of guy you want, a guy who's got it figured out here. And you can read that by talking to a guy, but when you watch him play, you can kind of tell the type of guy that is. That's number one trait for me. And then two, because I'm saying this because physical traits, all of that is a given. You got to be accurate. You got to be able to put the ball where you got to put it. I don't care nothing about arm strength. I care nothing about it. You got to just put the ball. And the number two for me is throw on time. And you don't necessarily have to already be throwing on time. But if you are, a guy like Zach Wilson, who just came out, he throws the ball on time. He did it in college, he did it in high school. So I'm paying attention to that. But if you're not throwing on time already, I just want to see if you can. If I tell you on time, will you throw on time? And that speaks to your coachability, whether you're coachable.
You brought up Zach Wilson, David. You were talking about whether or not it's too late. I mean, too early to judge that Jet situation. Go ahead and throw that at Chris, like what we're talking about as far as that.
I mean, in terms of the rookie quarterbacks, I haven't been impressed with anybody so far, and I know Zach Wilson has been struggling. But I think it takes time to adjust to the league, to the speed of the players, to have like defenses, game plan against you. So I still think Zach Wilson has good potential over the new quarterback that Dale really likes.
Mike White, I love him. I love
Mike
him.
White,
I
yeah.
love him.
He loves Mike White, but I still think you give Zach Wilson a chance. So what is your take in terms of Zach Wilson and
What do you think of Mike White? Yeah.
I'll leave Mike White for another. I'll push that to the side for right now. Zach Wilson, I see him a lot like I did Kyler Murray, where right away from day one, you can see he's got everything you need. He's not like people said that about Sam Darnold and some of these other guys, but it's not the same. He's got a natural feel for how to play the quarterback position. He's got a natural feel for how to use his legs in the pocket. And that's what makes him an underrated player, because the metrics and the analytics haven't yet caught up to those things in evaluating quarterbacks. Zach Wilson has everything you need, and he'll be just fine once he gets some pieces around him, specifically in the receiver category. So if you think back to it, Kyler Murray struggled his first year in terms of the record, the wins and losses. But when you watch him throw the football, when you watch him drop back to pass, when you watch him lead and compete against these big teams, you knew he was going to be all right. It was only a matter of time. I feel that way about Zach Wilson, even though he's struggled a little more than I would say, Kyler Murray or any other rookie quarterback in the last 5 to 10 years. He'll be okay once he gets some pieces around him, and once he gets another year under his belt in the system, he'll be just fine. He'll be a playoff quarterback in the next year or two.
David, we were debating another quarterback there, and Harish, we were going back and forth on what we thought about Stafford and Goff, and them two changing situations. So one of y'all pick that up and run with that. Y'all know how I feel about it.
Okay, well, I personally think Jared Goff is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, and I think Matthew Stafford is a huge upgrade. Dale thinks they're pretty much the same, and I think I'm not quite sure what Harish. I was curious what you thought about that.
So for me, I think Stafford's better than Goff. I mean, he's proven. It's just
proven
that
what?
Prove that he can win, even though he's on a
where in college.
Okay, so not even that. I just look at it in two different aspects. When he was in Detroit is a place where you don't go to win. But what he did with everybody else with the circumstances, with only one player, defensively they were good. I just feel that he wasn't in the right system to make him grow. Like as a quarterback. With Sean McVay, he kind of has that opportunity to grow and be better. Jared Goff, I mean, he was just there just to look pretty. I mean, in making moves, I just don't feel that he had that opportunity.
I'm gonna let Chris run with this, but in year 12, I mean, it's past time to grow. But Chris, what do you think about all that stuff? Jared Goff and Stafford, and the Rams' chances. Touch on that too. Where they place now with Stafford.
As far as I'll shut this down right now. As far as Goff versus which is Stafford. Okay, Goff, all he has to do in the next 10 years is win a playoff game, and he'll be better for Stafford ever was. One playoff, 10 years. That's all he has to do. He can struggle this year. He can, stink up the joint. He come next year and win one playoff game. If you don't do it next year, that's fine. Come back in the third year and do it. You got 10 years to win one playoff game to be better than Stafford, and you'll be just fine. Now, on the flip side, Stafford, okay, he's got arguably the best roster in the league right now. Okay, what are you gonna do come playoff game? Come playoff. If you don't take this team to the Super Bowl, it will be the biggest flop since when they brought over Kirk Cousins and thought he was the missing piece for the Vikings.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say.
Actually, that's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
Well, do you think Stafford can do it? Because I don't. I don't see it. I think that team is perfect missing a quarterback.
What's happening right now that's giving me cause to pause is that they're doing too well in the regular season, and he doesn't look like the type of quarterback who is understanding that this. Like, for example, if you look how Brady approaches the regular season, he's steady calculating every game, learning. Stafford is kind of like, this looks like he's tapping out right now. Like he's going out and doing everything he can, and this is it. This is the peak of his potential right now.
The pinnacle. Yeah.
So come playoff time, it's going to be really if he can step it up. I don't think he could do it.
Me neither. Yep. So we have two on Stafford's corner, and then the two brothers.
I just can't back Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff, to me, he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. So
I'll tell you one thing. You look at TJ Hawkinson, he's been playing a lot better under Jared Goff. Top 5, top 10 pick.
He's a great player. Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything under Stafford. So he's been doing a little something this year.
So you think it's because Stafford just can't win in the playoffs, or he just doesn't have it? Like, there's an it factor for players.
I mean,
do you believe that he doesn't have that it factor, and that's why Goff? You stated that like all he has to do is win one playoff game, and he'll be 100 times better than Stafford.
Yeah, I mean he'll be better than he'll do for the Lions what Stafford couldn't do for the Lions. Now, if you look at it, think about your top two. Just give me your top two reasons why you love Stafford. Like,
I mean, he's accurate and he can read the field well.
Oh, that's surprising. I thought you were going to say something about his arm strength.
I mean,
that's what people like to say. So it's like Anthony Davis, for example. Anthony Davis has got all the tools. He's 6'11". He can shoot, he can dribble, he can do all of these things. So people are blinded to the fact that Anthony Davis didn't really do anything in the league until he came up with LeBron. I mean, what did he do? Like, he had the Pelicans, and what did he do with him?
We touched on Anthony Davis in a previous episode. I'm not an Anthony Davis guy. To me, he's Mr. Glass.
Yeah, I mean,
overrated.
I think AD is soft. I mean, to go back to the Stafford versus Goff argument, I don't think Stafford's a good quarterback. I think he's just a middle of the pack quarterback. I just don't think Goff is a middle of the pack quarterback. I feel like every time I watch him, right, he looks at his first read, and if he's covered, and then if he has any sort of pressure, he just panics. Just panics, and he just always looks at his first read. Like, I don't know. That's just how I see when I see him play. So I just don't think he's a good quarterback.
and look at him in big games too. You got to look at him in big games. What was this game he just lost this past week? He had a chance to make a statement. I think it was the Titans.
Yeah.
Stafford out.
I mean, Stafford didn't look good. Yeah.
Without Derrick Henry, and they went up there and stunk up the joint. In big games, he reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins. I don't know how you guys feel in terms of ranking those two quarterbacks. Is Stafford far and away better than Kirk Cousins? Or, I mean, I think they're the same guy.
Yeah.
I was about to say
pretty
the
much
same.
the same.
They're pretty much the
I
same.
agree. They're pretty much the same.
So why are we talking so much more about Stafford than we are Kirk Cousins? I don't get it. You know,
I just don't like. We don't like. I don't like Kirk Cousins.
Goff. I just don't like Goff.
It's just.
And I was the only reason I brought Stafford up in the first place is just because I'm not buying the Rams hype with him captaining the ship. I don't see it. Even with Von Miller,
All right.
Odell Beckham, and I don't see it.
Yeah, they're trying to build a championship team. I don't know, but I mean, they're still a playoff team.
and one more thing.
I don't know if they'll get past Tampa Bay. I
Yes.
mean, it's going to come down to Tampa Bay, I think,
And do you
or
think-
Arizona, or even Arizona, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the Rams will do better in the next 3 years than Goff ever did with the Rams?
No chance. No, because
Well,
Stafford
Goff
won't.
went to the
Stafford,
Super Bowl.
right, and Stafford won't do that. He won't take them to Super Bowl.
That's gonna be big time if he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think this is one and done then, right? After this year, they're going to look for another quarterback in the draft? Not this
No,
year. but-
No, they have no draft picks.
No,
They
yeah.
have, they have no draft picks.
They
They
have no
traded all
draft
the
picks? Mm.
Now
or
this
no
is
first round draft picks.
this is at least a 3-year thing. At least 3
Mhm.
years.
Yeah.
They'll win. They probably won't win anything big, but they'll win. You know, so we'll see. Next year,
Chris, you still haven't told us your top 5 quarterbacks
Yeah.
in the league.
top
So
five.
just look over that. Yeah.
All right, that's tough. I go Brady number 1 until somebody knocks him off. You got Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray, I'll put him right behind him. Probably got, I don't know, throw some names out for me.
Russell?
Derek Carr.
Russell Wilson,
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers guy, not
Me
top
neither.
5.
Me neither.
Josh
Yep.
Allen?
Let me go.
Mahomes, Allen, Mahomes,
Herbert?
Herbert. Justin Herbert.
Herbert.
I go Kyler. Justin Herbert probably is my 4.
Where you got Dak?
I guess I gotta put Russell Wilson at 3. He just needs a defense and he'll get back to the Super Bowl.
Mm.
I got like I said, Herbert at 4, and then 5. I really want to say the Bengals quarterback. Now that he's got
Right.
face,
Burrow. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Wow.
really want him.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I like how he looks.
still like-
recently.
I still
Or
like
just you
Big Ben.
like Big Ben? Oh my god.
That's because he played against him in college.
He looks so bad this year. Like I don't know. He looks like he fell off a lot this year.
Let me tell you this: if you pick Russell Wilson in your top 5, you got to pick Big Ben in your top 5 because they're the same guy to me. If they got a if they have a defense in the running game, they'll go to the Super Bowl every time. Every time.
Even this year.
Even this year. They don't have
Because I feel like Steelers have a defense and a running back this year.
They do.
no, that running back is all hype.
And I know how you feel about it. I know how you feel about him too. I saw your post about will he be in the league in
Najee
4
Harris?
years?
It's
Yeah.
not gonna get out of the league.
But their O-line isn't. Their O-line's not good.
No, it's
This
not.
offensive line is not good.
And that's another thing they always had, O-line.
Yeah.
And so, and Mike Tomlin built that team, like the old school teams. And they don't have that right now.
You think he's going to go to USC?
No chance.
Oh, no,
Mike
no,
Tomlin,
No.
all that noise that's going on?
no. He's Steelers. He'll retire when he wants to.
Yeah. That's how the Steelers operate.
And, I mean, they only had like what, 4 coaches or 3 coaches in the last, X amount of years.
I think 3 or 4 in their whole history.
Yeah, because after Chuck
No.
Noll, then was
Yeah.
what was
Bill.
Chuck Noll,
Cowher.
Cowher, and
then,
Tomlin. There might be one more. I
so-
can't think of one more though. I think there's
I
might be
think you're
just them
right.
3.
Yeah, it was only those 3 because Noel was there for a while until he went, and then Cowher came into play.
Man, let's get into some NBA.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So like I said before the season, like I didn't say it to any of y'all, so I can't back it up. You know, I don't have the proof, but I picked Golden State before the season. I might have said it to David to win it, and they're out there proving it right now. Steph has regained his spot as, to me, the best player in the league, and I put Steph as the second best player of all time behind Jordan. I know Chris feels differently about that. I know you're a LeBron guy. I think David might be too. I still got Golden State winning it all, and they'll probably be facing off against the Bucks again in the finals. What do y'all feel about that?
Second best player of all time. Wow, that's
That's a big statement.
That's my thoughts. I haven't seen anybody other than Jordan do it better. That's just my opinion.
in the playoffs.
Period. Playoffs, regular season, all overall.
Steph is not.
I
the
think. I mean,
not a playoff guy.
I think you're just thinking offensively. Like I don't know.
No, all around game.
Of all
I
time,
can't-
of all time of NBA, second best player after Jordan.
I mean, I would say Steph is the greatest shooter, but
He's
yeah.
not
can't
just
say-
a shooter though. Like he commands the court. He's not just out there jacking up threes. He can get to the basket
but
whenever
he
he
may-
wants.
I don't know.
But yeah, y'all give y'all
Yeah.
take. I'll give him my take. I want to hear what y'all think.
All right. If Steph, CP3, John Morant, and I don't know who's another, Russell Westbrook, all came in. No, Damian Lillard came in the league all at the same time. You would take Steph.
No question. Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. I probably would have to go with LeBron, like I said, over him in terms of all time, but just because you're talking about commanding the court, who does it better than LeBron? LeBron has stepped up his three-point game. He can shoot far shots, logo shots if he needs to as well. He's a force of nature. If you think back to Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron, when he was, 50, 60 wins a season and beating the Pistons and beating those types of teams, the Bulls, that LeBron was as close to Jordan as I've ever seen anybody play, even Kobe. So, I mean, that Steph ain't even close to that level. I'm thinking playoffs. Those are playoff performances.
Oh. I mean, yeah, I would probably put LeBron 2, Kobe 3, or they could be interchangeable, but LeBron at his prime, you put on any team and they're automatic, they have a chance to win the finals, like any team, no matter who's on that team. Because he carried that Cavaliers team with, who was on that team? Mo Williams as their second best player?
Anderson, Barrett,
Anderson
Very
Hey,
like,
He had,
these are
he had the big Z.
these aren't
Big
even
Z.
role players. They're
Larry
like,
Hughes.
yeah, Larry Hughes. These are like, they should be bench players. They're not, they shouldn't even be on a playoff roster, but I mean,
Right.
he took them to the finals. Like that performance versus Detroit where he scored like 23 or 24 straight, that was ridiculous. I mean, my only, my beef with LeBron is like, he's capable of taking over the game like that, but he doesn't do it all the time. That's my issue with him.
Yep.
Like if he had Mamba mentality or Kobe's mentality, I think he would be the greatest player of all time. But he doesn't do that. That's my issue. Like he's capable, but he doesn't do it. So, that's why I could see him fall to like 2 or 3. But I mean, without a doubt, MJ's the greatest for me. Steph, I think he's the best shooter of all time. But like I said, if you put him on a bad team, can he carry a team to the finals? I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Because
So
you could.
This Warriors team is a playoff team without him. This Warriors team is
Yeah.
Yeah, but
really.
they're doing it defensively.
Yeah, but
They're doing
I
it
mean,
defensively.
Yeah, defensively they can pick
Like,
up the
A
slack.
lot of
No
players are
chance.
stepped up this year.
No
But
chance.
I don't know. Okay, so this year, Warriors are starting off hot, right? But it's still early season. Majority of their games have been played at home. They've had like a huge homestand right now. They haven't gone on the road for like, I don't know, more than 5 games, I think. So, I mean, so we'll see. They look really good. I like Gary Payton II. He looks really good defensively. He's contributing off the bench. I like Jalika or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, he spreads the court. He could shoot. I mean, Draymond's actually playing really well. He's meshing the team really well. So we'll see when they hit the road. I mean, but yeah, with Klay Thompson, they'll definitely be one of the contenders to win it all. Because how can you guard two of the best shooters in the world? Like,
Yeah, you
No.
can't. You have to, if you double one, one's already open.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Dale, we discussed it. I can't. Not number 2. Not number 2. I would.
That's just me.
You know,
I mean, I like
you-
Steph.
no,
I
so-
like Steph, but
So Steph is a great player. I mean, hands down, like shooter of all time. He can score lights out. You talk about ball handling. I went back, looked at some of his games. Yes, ball handling wise, but overall, if you inject him into another team without that kind of firepower, I don't think he can lead it, as David said. He can probably get his 30 to 40 points or 20 points a game, but I don't think he can lead that team. Like that's just me personally. But I think he can if he had like another number 2. Another number 2, he can probably do it. But I'll probably list him as number 4 after LeBron, and Kobe's number 2 for me. I mean, Michael's number 1. Like,
And I want to say I'm not one of those guys who's a LeBron hater by any means. I used to record this dude's high school games on ESPN. I've been on him from the very start. I love him. I love what he does in the community. I love that he hasn't, he's been faithful to his wife since freaking high school. I mean, he's everything that you want your kids to grow up to be. And then on the court, like Chris said, a force of nature. And his game is still getting better at year 19. His shot has developed so much from what it was when he led that Cleveland team with nothing else on it to the finals. He didn't even have a complete game then, and he still did that. That's why he is my number 3. He is unquestionably great. He's greatness personified, and he's still, like I said, still getting better. He'll probably still be in the league when his son gets in there. So,
you think he'd be the Tom Brady of the league? Kept on playing until he's a certain age to win another ring?
He can, because the injuries he has, he hasn't had a major injury, and he takes care of his body so well that he can still play another 5 or so years. So
do you?
who do you think the best player in the league right now is? You take Curry over Durant?
yeah,
I wouldn't.
I've never been a Kevin Durant guy.
yeah, me neither.
Really?
He's too sensitive.
Oh, he's too sensitive.
He's
don't know.
I'll tell you what, him versus Kawhi Leonard, in Kawhi Leonard's prime, winning championships, Kawhi, that's an interesting debate between him and Durant.
Yeah.
Take who you would want on your roster.
Ooh.
David knows I've always been a Kawhi guy too, from the start.
Yeah.
From his rookie year. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Maryland boy, so I always kind of have a soft spot for people from the home state, and I've seen him play too. I don't know, because Kawhi has that mentality just to take over a game, just dominate, and I'm not saying
big
Durant
games and
doesn't.
big games too.
And that's the question. That's what always like kind of, it's like a seesaw battle for me, because if I had to choose the 2 to build a team to win, like let's say you got like a minute left, you need to score like 10 points, I probably would have to go with Kawhi, because he takes those high percentage shots that he makes. Because when he was with Toronto, and he won that championship with Toronto, he just backed down and he's like, just give me the ball. I don't care about team. I don't care about anybody else. Give me the ball. I score it and I win. And unfortunately, unfortunately, that's what happened. He scored it. Durant, sometimes he relies too much on that outside shot, and he doesn't kind of like, he makes it and sometimes he doesn't.
Well,
So
he's
he
very
tries to
thin,
take you
so
off.
he's not
That's
going to
also
bang
true.
inside. He'll be
Yeah,
banging
so-
inside. So
With Chris's thing, I mean, I love Durant, but I'll probably have to take Kawhi to build that team if I have to have somebody big bodied inside and go in and out.
Now is Melo in there in conversation with those 2 guys, or like prime Melo? Like,
Melo's on a different level. He's on a different level. I mean, because he like, man, Melo is just, his shot alone can win you a game. He can take you off. He makes one of the most craziest shots when a defender's on him. I mean,
People don't remember.
I got to school me then, because that's surprising.
What's that? What's surprising?
For me, like when
action when you mention him, like as much as people love Kevin Durant, as much as people loved Kawhi enough to almost say he was the best player in the league when he won that championship. And when I bring up Melo, he's on another level. I'm like, what? Okay. I didn't never been a Melo fan until now. So that's
I was a Melo fan when he was here. When he was here in Denver, I was a Melo guy. He came in as a rookie and led an average team to the playoffs. So I thought I saw nothing but greatness for him. But then in New York, it was a Knicks stuff, so can't really judge on that. But he's balling now, definitely. He's definitely balling now.
Like, because the thing is, it's like with him, when he came to Denver, he had that, he was unguardable. Like he had those shots that I
from the start,
that, like
from day one he was.
And you're looking at it, you're like, man, that's a little bit different, because it's really hard. And he's like 6'6", 6'5".
He's like 6'8".
I think
and then when they kind of pressured him to shoot the ball in a different angle, he shot and he always made it. So to me, I just felt that in a difficult situation and in a difficult shot, kind of percentage-wise, he made some of those that was just kind of mind-blowing to me. And I was just like, yeah, when he went, I think when Durant was there, they went back-to-back on that. And when they played each other, if I remember, and it was a good game. I think both of them scored like, I think 30, 40 points that game, if I remember.
So yeah, we've got four. I was about to say 5. We got 4 minutes left in the show. We got to get our takes in and then wrap things up. So what do y'all want to touch on here towards the end?
I mean, we should probably go over who we think will win the East and the West this year. Who the contenders will be. The reasons why.
I like it.
So
start us off.
Okay. Man, it's pretty hard. It's early season. Milwaukee's been dealing with a lot of injuries. Chicago looks to be one of the hot teams right now. My only concern with Chicago is their bench looks kind of weak. I think Caruso is their best player off the bench. I mean, they got blown out yesterday without Vucevic, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're a surprising dark horse this year. But I mean, in the East, I think you still have to go with Milwaukee until someone knocks them down. They have a lot of 3-point shooters. I think that Grayson Allen signing was huge. Connaughton hit threes.
Baller.
Yeah.
So you got.
So as long as they stay healthy, I would still say Milwaukee in the East. Probably Chicago number 2. And Wizards might be a surprise. I actually like them. They got grit. Like I like Montrezl Harrell and Kuzma. They're playing with grit right now, and they still have to get Thomas Bryant and Hachimura back. So it could be a surprise. So there could be a surprise 3 or 4. And yeah, and then the West, I don't know. Sorry, I don't think Lakers are gonna win it in the West. They don't have the shooters. And like you said, Anthony Davis is soft. He's Mr. Glass out there. We don't know what his status will be in the playoffs. So, yeah, and if Klay Thompson comes back healthy, the Warriors, number 1. I think Utah's always up there. Clippers could always, come back strong. Is Kawhi coming back this year? Is he coming back at the end?
He'll be back at some point. I'm thinking around the All-Star break.
Yeah, so if he's healthy, they could always, contend. So I'll go with the Warriors 1 and then Clippers 2 for me in the West. What about you guys?
Chris?
I'm going to take the Nets in the East. You got to beat them at full strength before I pick anybody else. And then I got the Lakers in the West. And it just it's hard to say that anybody can beat LeBron. I think LeBron is strategically sitting out. I think he's letting Westbrook, start to kind of feel like this is his team before he comes back. And once that happens, you got to watch out, because I think the biggest reason why they picked up Westbrook is really for Anthony Davis, just like what you just said. He's not reliable.
Yeah.
So clicking on in the playoffs, he's a big deal. But when you got Westbrook on your team and he's actually playing like Westbrook, it doesn't really matter what Davis is doing, because you got to understand Westbrook double. He's going to get those rebounds that Anthony Davis doesn't get, and he'll play defense just by being gritty. He'll chase down every rebound. He'll be out on the fast break, pushing the tempo, things that LeBron may or may not want to do at this stage in his career. So he is the X factor, and there's way too many people that are down on him at this point. What are we, 10 games in? You know what I mean?
Surely, yeah.
So
my concern with the Lakers is just having the dynamic of Westbrook and LeBron on the court at the same time. Like, because I feel like LeBron should be the primary ball handler. And then if you do that, then what is Westbrook going to do? Because he's not a shooter. He needs the ball too. So unless he gets a rebound and pushes the ball, like, I feel like LeBron has to have the ball. So I feel like Russell Westbrook should come off the bench. I think he'll be the best sixth man in the league, but I don't know if the Lakers will do that. And I don't know if they have enough shooters to spread the floor. So we'll see. And in terms of the Nets, is Kyrie gonna play, or like, are they gonna like? I don't know what.
Not counting on that.
I mean, if they change the rules, or if he gets vaccinated, or or if New York changes the rules.
Yeah, it's the New York thing, and I don't think New York's going to change anything. So and they're not going to trade him. So
if he plays, they're definitely the team to beat. But I don't. If it's just Durant and Harden, I don't think they'll win the East. But I don't know. That's what I think.
Hurry, jump in there.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with Chris. I mean, it's going to come down to the Nets and to Milwaukee. They're both like kind of banged up right now, right? So once they kind of, it's only been 10 games, as David was saying too. So it's really, really early on in the season, and most of these teams it's too early to tell. But you can kind of see what each team can kind of bring. And I also feel that the Wizards are a dark horse, because they still have a lot of people out. When they do come back, when they do feel like 100% team, they can make some noise. Eastern Conference noise, maybe to a stretch, but I don't think so. Western Conference, I'm going to say Denver. Denver, if they can, I have them as a surprise team, because with the way they played and with that Jokic incident, I think they kind of upped their toughness a little bit. And at the end of the day, that's what they were lacking. In all honesty, they were kind of lacking that toughness. But you have to go through the Lakers or Golden State to get what they need. And I don't think they have that kind of power yet, because if the Lakers get healthy and if LeBron, because the thing is, even with Westbrook does coming off the bench, it's LeBron's team, and he will take over that game and he will dominate. So at the end of the day, I'll say it's going to be Golden State and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, and then I'll say the Lakers are going to move on, and then I'll say Milwaukee, because they're the defending champions. Until you can beat a full healthy Milwaukee, you can't crown yet. And yes, I would want the Nets to go, because I do like Kyrie. I like how he plays. But as we stated in our previous episode, I think he's done. I think he has to retire or something if they don't change the rules. I don't think he's going to be playing basketball like here at all. Like maybe he goes somewhere else. I don't know if someone can pick up his contract, but that's how I feel.
I'll give my take real quick before we wrap it up. I echo what you said as far as the Warriors and the Lakers in the West. I got the Warriors moving on there. And then in the East, I'm going to zig while everybody else is zagging here. I'm going with the Wizards and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Bucks moving on again, and then the Warriors taking the championship. So that's how I feel about it.
Not surprised.
I know the Wizards is, nobody will really jump on that, but I just like the way they're constructed, I like the way they're coached. So good feeling about them.
I do like the new coach.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Want to thank our special guests, David bringing in his gambling take and then touching on everything else we touched on. Chris touching on the quarterbacks. Hopefully y'all will join us again for another episode of the Talking Hats. I really appreciate y'all coming out. It was a great time. The time just flew by. We just got caught up in it, and we've been going for over an hour here, and it was a great time out. And
Please
thank y'all
like
again.
and subscribe.
Yeah, like and
Please like and
subscribe.
subscribe and
Hit
comment.
us up, comment.
Yeah.
Y'all, I gave y'all how y'all can reach us early on in the show. You can find all that on our Twitter at the Talking Hats, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.